What do you make of these retail sale numbers? Because the headlines are they're up. We didn't expect them to be up. But if you drill down into the numbers, even before you look at the sentiment numbers, there are some pretty alarming trends.
Hi, Liam. Absolutely. The devil is always in the detail, and consumers shop emotionally. And we will have that conversation until the end of time. But what does that mean? It means that when they're aware that there are rising prices on the absolute essentials, they're going to be very careful about what they spend. We have a few million people that are absolutely choosing between heating and eating and needing choice right now. Thankfully, we're coming into a summer period, but I absolutely wave the red flag again relevant to autumn. I'm really concerned about that period because we're going to get another fuel hike and there's going to be the challenge of heading into winter. I think we've got a few million people that absolutely are taking advantage of the fact that we don't have the lockdowns. They've had holidays that have been booked and put on for years on end, and they are going to go out there and they're going to enjoy that time. They're going to reunite with their families, but they know exactly that there's going to be then a period of having to tighten their belts even more so. And I can't help but think that autumn is going to be that real indicator of where we are. So we will always have consumers shopping emotionally. It will always be something we have to look at, as well as the data. It's almost like the emotional intelligence piece over there. And if you watch shoppers right now, they are being careful, and quite rightly so.
Tash Courtney-Smith, let's turn to you. Bolt Digital, as the name suggests, really specialises in these digital trends and online shopping. This lower consumer sentiment, we'll discuss it more in detail in a moment, but it seems to be impacting online sales too.
It definitely is. I mean, what Bolt Digital does is work with retail brands and digital-first consumer brands that are growing out their online e-commerce revenues. And as Kate put it so eloquently then, consumers are facing, it's very difficult to compare this to the global financial crisis, because this is something that affects every single person. The news of electricity bills changing and food prices rising. So consumers are facing a kind of avalanche of bad news that directly impacts them and what is in their current account and within their financial spending each month in a way that hasn't really happened before. So it's quite a different period. Both retail brands, I mean, actually, it was unexpected news, I think, to see a 1.4% rise in retail spending in April. Both retail brands and online brands, many of the brands are both, they're retail with high street presences and online. All of them are finding the world is slightly more competitive, especially when they compare things to the coronavirus period, although that is not an ideal comparison because there was a whole different set of external circumstances at that point as well.